lies, shenanigans. Truth, 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 lies, shenanigans.
Oh yeah. Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans. Oh yeah. Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans.
Oh yeah.
Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans.
Oh yeah. Shenanigans. Truth, lies, 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 shenanigans. Oh yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Truth, Lies, and Shenanigans. For today's show, we have the Professor Liz E.
Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the show for our Sunday shenanigans.
All right. And we have from the epicenter of New York City, Z.
Hi guys, I missed you. Hope everyone had a good 4th last weekend, a happy and safe one, and I'm happy to be back.
And
Welcome
joining us once
back.
again from across the Canadian border, Rob B.
Happy to be back, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to another great show.
And my name is Neo. I'll be your guide for today's show. Today's show, we have a really good one. We're going to be talking about Goya and the boycott. We're going to be talking about Jada and Will talking it out live, kids going back to school, and we're going to be talking about the Karen birdwatcher not cooperating. Plus today, we have a small business spotlight that's going to be on Mel B and Posh Cycling and Fitness. So really good show ahead. Now remember, we are live.
Beautiful letters.
Wrong one.
They're great letters.
We are live everywhere. So we'll be listening to you. We're on YouTube, Facebook, we're not live on Instagram, but we're also on Twitter. So we want to see you guys. Make sure you're commenting in the comment section and let us know what you're thinking. All right. So what is Truth, Lies, and Shenanigans all about? It's about us sharing our truth with you, calling out all those lies and pointing out the shenanigans going on. And on this show, we always have fun with some shenanigans of our own. Right, guys?
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
All right. Now we have one rule, and now we can do it.
Beautiful letters. And they're great letters. We fell
See
in
how they treating your girl, Z? You see how they treating your
Oh
girl?
my God.
One rule, just one rule. No cussing on the show. If you're caught cussing, there's a $10 penalty. And if you guys are caught cussing 3 times, you are writing a letter to, and it's 3 times in the same show, you're writing a letter to your buddy, number 45, the clown himself. And we're posting
You
that
know,
on
I
your
think
social
I
media.
remember that painting. I remember this painting from my pediatrician's office. I really remember. I clearly
From your
remember that.
pediatrician's office.
Absolutely.
He's been a clown a long
Absolutely.
time, apparently. So
I have a fear of clowns, that's probably why.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
the only clown that I like is Pennywise from It.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
Oh,
only
yeah.
clown that I like. All other clowns I think are disgusting pedophiles. If that's
Okay.
true.
They're pedophiles even. Okay.
Word,
So you get a little
word. Very
serious.
Tell me how you
creepalicious.
really feel, Liz.
Of course, Lizzie's losing this battle, by the way. $80. She added another one last episode. So Z and
I'm
Rob,
in
you're
here
doing
for that,
great.
so I-
You're doing great. Zeros across the board. Now at the end of
Liz
the
didn't
Nice
get
like
me
a
when I was
sailor
on
before.
last time. I believe in her.
at the end of the season, we'll be donating the funds. We still haven't decided what charity we're going to do. But we're going to donate the custom pot to somebody special, not the Chanel bag fund.
The Chanel fund.
All right. So every episode, we ask a question so that you can kind of get to know our host a little bit better every episode. Here it is. Here's your question, guys. You ready? You all set? All right.
Yes.
Now, I'm certain, I'm positive, we all want the worst U.S. president in history out of office. But if Biden was suddenly not an option, who would you want to see in office? Let's see. I'm going to go with, you guys look like you're still thinking. Let me start with Rob B. He looks like he's not thinking too hard. I mean, you are Canadian, so it doesn't really matter as much to you. But
Hey, Canada.
It absolutely matters to us because
Yeah, that's
whatever you have in office has a direct impact on us. The Canadian border is currently closed because of the mishandling of this situation. So, yeah, what happens south of the border is very important to us. So if someone gets a second term after 4 years of buffoonery, we are beside ourselves, and we can't believe it's been an interesting administration. Definitely don't want Kanye. I know that he hasn't submitted any paperwork online, but nah.
You're not down with the
I like
birthday
you mad at
party?
Trudeau. Trudeau's pretty good, right?
He's pretty good. We do have some ethics issues with him. He's still young, but no, overall, I think he's a pretty good leader. And some people would disagree with me, and they're absolutely entitled to that.
Of course.
I'd love to see you in power, Neil.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know. I don't know if I can handle that. Lizzie, who you got? Who would you want to see in office if it wasn't Biden?
Um, to be honest with you, it's not a question that I ever even considered before this because I wasn't happy with any of the Democratic
Neither was
candidates that we
I wasn't either.
had. So I'm just going to have to do, a little bit of revisionist history and assume that Barack Hussein Obama is still in office and we don't have to vote in November.
Unfortunately, our Constitution doesn't allow it, but that would be nice.
That's why I said revisionist history, changing the Constitution.
No kings, no kings. I don't want any kings up in here. Z, who you got?
Well, listen, if we want to get the Obamas back in there, let's vote in Michelle.
Yes, I'm
There
with
you go.
you on that.
And your problem solved. Problem
Yeah.
solved.
I see
We
Ripko
need a
online said
little
Michelle
estrogen
as
in
well.
there. That's right.
Yeah, I mean,
My only, the only reason why I don't think that I am ready for Michelle is that I think I would jump out of my skin in defense of her and all of the racist attacks that would come out if she ran for president. I think, like, I'm already at the edge of my seat, but I think just thinking back, harkening back to all of the things, the negative things and the negative press that was put out there about her during her husband's presidency, I can't even imagine. A Black woman, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that she wouldn't be a good president, because I think she would. I think she's very progressive. I think she's very inclusive. But my goodness, I don't even know. I might have to just, get on the
I
plane.
get it.
And, the Finns won't even let me in now, so I can't even go to Finland. I'm stuck here.
I think I'm with Z on Michelle Obama is my top choice, but I don't know. So out of previous candidates we've had, I actually like. I think I don't know our 2012 guy. Well, now I don't know why his name suddenly.
Are you gonna say Mitt Romney?
Yes,
What
but
was it?
and let me explain why. Let me explain why I actually like Mitt Romney. Only because he was the only Republican that had cojones to stand up to Trump, and that says a lot to me. That says a lot to me as a person. Again, I would definitely pick Michelle over Mitt Romney any day, but that's my pick. So, all right. So before we do our business spotlight, let's move on. We're gonna do some shout outs.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Shout out to our girl Katie did from last week. Hopefully,
Katie did was awesome.
Thank you for joining us. Hopefully, we can have you back again, Miss Thane.
Yep. Rob B, you got some shout outs?
Really a special shout out to all of the healthcare practitioners that are out there, all of the frontline service workers that are out there. Everything that you do for the rest of us is greatly appreciated. So thank you.
All right. And Z?
I want to give a shout out to the city of Atlantic City. They reopened last weekend. All of the casino workers came back. Some of them reluctantly, but they all had a smile on their face and, really gave it that all. I pray that they stay safe as, this reopening continues. But shout out to them.
All right, my shout out goes out to Nakia Logan, last week's Small Business Spotlight. I did buy my champagne soul like you suggested.
So did I. So did I.
Looking forward to enjoying that. If you guys missed it, make sure you check out our clips on Facebook or YouTube. It was a really good spotlight. So that actually takes us to our business spotlight for this week. Our business spotlight is on Mel B and Pod Cycling and Fitness in College Park, Maryland. And for those that don't know, it's also my wife, my beautiful wife. Hey, Mel B, welcome. Welcome,
Hey,
welcome.
girl.
Hey, everyone.
Girl.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and Pod Cycling and Fitness?
All right, so my name is Mel B. I'm the owner of Posh Cycling and Fitness. By day, I'm a scientist, and all the time, a business owner. Posh, we opened in November 2018, and We have been shut down. Well, we're going to reopen tomorrow indoors, but we have been shut down by COVID-19 since March 16th.
And
Um,
what do you do? What is Posh Cycling Fitness? What do you do there? Tell us about the business.
Well, we are a boutique fitness studio, and we are located in North College Park, Maryland. And we offer different classes. Like, of course, our main focus is spinning, indoor spinning, and then we have Zumba, belly dancing, kickboxing, boxing, yoga, Pilates, bounce. You name it, we have it.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Sounds good.
So,
Yeah, we are open to all genders. Just because you see we're pink, we are open to everyone. Because a lot of people they ask that question: Is this for men too? Like, yes, it's for men. We have a lot of male instructors, and we have a lot of male clients as well too.
so outside of spinning, what's your most popular class?
Hmm. I want to say the boxing class is pretty popular. Yeah.
And so,
Yep.
what
But I think I remember when you guys first opened. I think it's Damien, one of our classmates. His wife was talking about how she was going to start a belly dancing class at your studio. And so you guys still have that?
Yeah, we still have belly dancing with Yana. She's been really good. She's built up her following, and the ladies really enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good class. I've seen. I haven't
Good.
taken it, but it was. I've heard great things about it.
Yeah, that's an awesome class. So shout out to Yana.
And so does it
So
function
what
as like a regular gym? Like, do you have a membership to Posh Cycling, or do you just go in for specific classes?
So we are membership based, and then we also have single classes. And so, if you want the membership, there we have different ones, and then you can take part of the all the different classes that we have. And then you could also purchase a single class and walk in and take that as well.
How big are your class sizes, Mel? Just curious how big your
Um,
facility is, how many people you can host.
Well, I have two rooms. So I have a spinning room and then I have a fitness room. The spinning room, we have 20 bikes. Due to COVID, we're going to, make that a little bit smaller and have 10 bikes in the room. Right now, we're renting the rest of the bikes out to the public. And then we have our fitness room, which is pretty big. We can hold, I've had up to 50 kids dancing, doing an Afrobeats dance class in there. So yeah, we can hold up to 50 people in there. And then I have a great big lobby area as well too. We usually rent that out for special events. Like I've had 50th birthday parties, bridal showers here, 80s party. We had women business events here as well too. So we do a lot of stuff at Posh, yeah. And then we try to host different events, but of course, due to COVID, we're probably not going to be able to do that. But we've done a lot of events for the community as well too.
So I just want to. I want to ask. So have you won any awards?
Yes, we won the 2019 City of College Park Business of the Year award.
That's good.
woohoo, get it,
Congratulations.
get it.
And that was due to
Congratulations.
your community involvement, right? So can you talk about
Yes,
that?
it was due to. Yep, it was due to our community involvement. Like I said, we hold a lot of different events for the community. We did MLK Day of Service. We've made this year. Last year we made 800 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. This year we made over 1,100 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We invited the whole community out, and it was just great. People started making the sandwiches, and then I delivered them to two homeless shelters in the area.
Nope.
And then
Before.
we've celebrated Pride Day. We've celebrated Mother's Day pampering event. We've had a father-daughter dance. We also do charity events for St. Jude. We did a St. Jude ride. We've done Turpathon. That's with the University of Maryland for disadvantaged children as well too, children with disabilities. You name it, we do it all. We did something for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, of course, since we're pink. So yeah, we do a lot of different things. We're not just about fitness; we're about community.
All right. So
So
um,
wait, are you still going to be hosting outdoor classes when you reopen tomorrow?
Yeah, so my focus is to reopen safely. And so I would like to continue to do outdoor classes, weather permitting, because last week, I'll be honest, we got rained out a couple of times. So it would have been great if we
Yeah.
had that option to come indoors. But we will still continue to do our virtual classes and our outdoor classes as much as we can outdoors. And then if we have to bring it indoors, we'll bring it indoors, but we're going to limit the amount of people in here as well, too.
So the
And we have a
virtual
lot
classes,
of precautions
so the virtual classes allow you to, have people from all over
all over.
yeah, to join the classes. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of my friends from New York, Texas, all over taking classes, which I appreciate. So it's
Now,
been fun, yeah.
now, real quick before we let you go, so we had a discussion last week about the small business loans and the PPE and the challenges that we've seen where, the Kanye Wests and all the other big companies are basically defrauding the federal government for these loans and kind of taking that money away. Can you speak about your experiences with that?
Well, I'll be really honest. This past week, when they posted the list, I was really angry and I was actually in tears because since we've shut down and they've told me that there was, different grants and loans available, I've been applying like crazy. And some of these applications, they're not like one, two, three. They're literally hours and hours. One of them took me literally 2 days to complete. They, asking multiple questions, personal financial stuff. It's like they wanted your kidney or something. So I've been applying to grants and loans all over across the board. And honestly, until this Friday, I did not hear from any of them. I finally heard from one of them and I finally got one grant.
And that was from
So I'm happy about that. Yeah.
our wonderful city of College Park. Right?
Yes, from the city of College Park. But other than that, I have not heard, the one for the EIDL. I didn't hear back from them. The PPP, literally they gave me pennies. It wasn't even to hear
Compared to the
that like Kanye
millions.
got 5 million,
Yeah.
and he doesn't need it, and they're struggling small businesses out there. It's really frustrating. I know a lot of other small businesses that have not gotten a dime. And we're all frustrated. We still have to pay rent. We still have to pay utilities, and we don't have any money coming in. I've lost more than 75% of my memberships. So, it's a real struggle, and my landlord hasn't said a one thing to me. So to hear that all these other big businesses who do not need them got thousands and millions of dollars, it's really stressful, and I'm really pissed off, to be honest.
And you're still at
Well, and I
risk
think
of
you bring up a good point when you talked about, the application process, because for these big businesses, it's not like they just automatically qualified and the government just automatically gave them money. They had to make the effort to sit down and apply for this as if they were a small business, as if they were losing money. And so we see just how, hypocritical that whole effort is, and just how, not good natured, good spirit, that is, knowing full well, like you said, a lot of these businesses, these big businesses, these businesses that have numerous locations, numerous branches across the country, and they're receiving millions. And then you have a small business here that's trying to stay afloat, and you can't get any backing. Like that's just awful. It's
and you're
awful.
still at risk of shutting down, right? I mean, there's still a possibility that you'll have to shut down because of one, you don't
The
know.
second, yeah.
Right, the second wave is coming. There's still, but not. I'm not even talking about the second wave. There's still a possibility that you just financially may have to shut down the studio if.
Oh yeah, because like I said, I haven't heard from the landlord. I've been asking about to help me renegotiate my lease, to do something, and I haven't heard. And bills are piling. People don't care. Honestly, these big businesses that we have, they don't care about COVID. They're like, you still have to pay insurance. They don't care. There's nobody here. You still have to pay. So yeah, I'm really in jeopardy. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to be open September, October. I have no clue. 2021, I have no idea if I'll be open or not, and which is sad because this is, for those of you who know me, this has been my dream. I've been teaching since 2008, and I've been, halfway through that, I started thinking of my own, opening up my own studio. and it's taken years. It's not like something, it looks like it happened overnight, but it hasn't. It's a lot of sweat. It literally blood, sweat, and tears, to open up a small business. And those of you who know my story know I've taken a long time to open this place. So to lose it, I can't tell you what state I'll be in, honestly. I'll be devastated. Yeah.
Well,
Well, where
I
can
think that this
probably
is why
find
we have
you?
to stop.
No, go ahead, Z.
Oh,
Z, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say this is why we need to stop supporting, the culture of celebrity, because there's absolutely no reason that Kanye West should be at the forefront, at the head of the line, receiving this money. And you brought up a very good point, Lizzie. These are big corporations. This is Mel B by herself in her home filling out these applications. You think Kanye West sat down and filled out that application? You think
Oh
that, you know
no.
what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you know what I mean? So they
So
have so many resources. It just goes to show they have the resource. They don't need this. And it's disgusting. And maybe now if people would wake the heck up and stop buying these people's records, stop buying their products, patronize the little guy. I have no intention of going back to a large big box gym. I promise you that. You know what I mean? So I just want to say that, I hope people wake up and stop supporting big business the way we have, because they're not supporting us back.
That's right.
And I want to say that, one thing that Posh is different from the big box gyms, because I get that a lot. Like, how are you different from, Washington Sport Club, LA Fitness, those type of things? We are all about community. When you walk into those, I've worked in those places. When you walk into Posh, we know your name. We know, things that's going on in your life. We make you part of our family. We make sure that that you exist. And we're here to help you out and make you feel good. It's not just about getting your workout and leaving. People here, they've made friends. I'm so shocked when I hear people, like, I see them on Facebook and they're hanging out with each other. I'm like, wow, they met at my studio. And that makes me feel good that I'm creating friendships, creating a community that comes together. So that's what I'm really happy for. You don't find that at those big box gyms. Like, I'll be honest,
Listen,
I used to walk in and out, and that's it.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I worked, before COVID, I was working part-time teaching at New York Sports Club. I never knew my manager's names. They didn't know my
See?
name. They knew me as 6:30. That's how they knew me.
Yep.
Oh, Wednesday, 6:30. That's, you know,
Nah, that's as an
there
instructor.
was no sense. Yeah,
It's
that's
true.
an instructor. Like, so
Don't
yeah,
get
I
me
can
started.
totally see that.
Fraudulent New York Sport Club. Don't
All
get
right,
me
Mel.
started.
All right. Well, why don't you tell everyone where we can find you, or where they can find you online? They can take some virtual classes if they're not local.
Yeah, so everybody can find us on our webpage is www.posh.fit, Fit. Okay, and you can find us on Instagram. It's at Posh Cycling and Fitness, and same thing at Facebook, Posh Cycling and Fitness. Twitter, it's Posh Cycling and One. Okay, and currently we're gonna have starting tomorrow. We're gonna have a sale on our class packages. So check out our website for those. And then we're going to have, for new customers, we're going to have 1 week free trial. So you could take any of our classes on our website. Our website will be updated tomorrow with all new information on it. So join us. And if you are not into fitness and you would like to support us, you can still make a donation. We've had some awesome people make donations. And I thank each and every one of you. If you guys are watching, you can make a donation at www.posh.fit/donate. And that's really been helping me keep the lights on, honestly.
All right. Well,
Thank you guys so much. I
thank you, Mel
appreciate
B,
it.
for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming
All
on.
right.
Good
And
luck.
good
to you.
luck.
Good luck. And we
Hope
will get
everything
the
Thank
word
works out.
out.
All right.
We will get
Good
the
luck
word out.
tomorrow.
Class.
All right.
All right.
All right. So that's our business spotlight. All right. That was a good one, huh?
It was.
Yeah,
It
we
was.
were-
And I don't think a lot of people in the community think about, like, Z was talking about, the big box gyms versus community gyms and who owns them and the effort that goes into getting something like that off the ground, especially, in the DMV community where we talk about a lot of brown folks down here. Like, I mean, probably for me, this is probably the first Black owned cycling or business like this that I know of in the area. So
Very
again,
few.
it's a good opportunity to promote, but to get the word out that New York, and again, I don't want to get into a whole rant about New York Sports Club, or Washington Sports Club, but try to seek out your community businesses first if you
Yep.
can.
Small business. Let's
Because
support
Yeah.
small businesses, guys. Especially
yeah,
right
it's
now when we're dealing with COVID. When small businesses are hit really, really hard. Big businesses, they have money to survive, but small businesses really don't. And coming from seeing that side of the business and being a small business, it's tough. It's tough. So definitely support small businesses, everyone. So.
yes.
All right. So we get to move into the next part of our show. The main part, this is the meat, where we're going to talk about all kind of hot topics. So the way this part of the show works is each host comes with hot topics they want to discuss, mostly based on discussions with you, things that you've said online, some of the conversations that you've had on Facebook pages and the personal pages as well. I'll pick one of the hosts to start us off, and then we'll just kind of jump in, they'll tell us what's going on, ask a question to the other host, and we'll start a timer for the discussion. Once time is up, you'll see Genji, as Z has so passionately called him, Genji. Genji will come up.
Go, player. Dance it out, boy. Get your birthday. Go, Gingy.
And it'll be time to end the conversation and move on to the next host. All right? And talk about whatever they want to talk about. So, remember, guys, your comments, your questions do help drive the conversation. So please comment away. We are keeping an eye on those things. All right, let's start out today with Z. I think I want to start out with Z today. Z, tell us what you want to talk about today. Oh, wait.
right,
One question. Is this a truth, lie, or are we talking some shenanigans?
Woo!
Oh, this is a truth.
All right.
Well, you guys might find some shenanigans in it, but it's a truth. So Mr. Christian Cooper, right? That's the one we're starting with. So it looks like the DA has brought some charges against Miss Amy Cooper, who, if you will recall, she called the police on a Black man who was bird watching in Central Park and who asked her to follow the rules and leash her dog. To which she responded, "You're threatening me. I'm calling the cops to tell him a Black man is out to get me." Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So finally, how many months later, or about 6 weeks later, the DA finally pressed charges for falsely reporting a crime. She faces up to a year in prison. And Christian Cooper has come out publicly to say that he will not cooperate with the DA's investigation. So he feels that, she's already been punished enough. And now it's just a dog pile. And if the DA wants to go after her, then he's on his own. So my question to you is, do you think that Christian Cooper has a responsibility to cooperate with this investigation?
Oh, that's a good question. Why don't we start with Rob?
So if we take a look at what's happened to Amy since she's lost her dog, she lost her job, she's lost her credibility.
She got her dog back, though.
She got her dog back,
So
yeah.
She's absolutely been shamed very publicly. She got lambasted in social media, and if Mr. Cooper feels that she has paid her penance, because she really has lost out a lot. If the DA wants to go after her, sure, but if he's washed his hands of it, if he feels that she's paid her price and just wants to walk away and not give this any more energy, hats off to him.
Yeah.
Lizzie?
Two things. One, I think from the very beginning, Christian Cooper always said that it was never his intent to have her arrested or for this to become a criminal case. So this stance that he's taking now does not surprise me. However, I think we need to keep in mind that her intent was very criminal. She specifically accused a Black man of assaulting her and attacking her when video shows that none of that was true. And the inflection in the voice, when she feigned like she was being attacked under assault, she was playing into her white privilege, her specific white female privilege, knowing that the cops could have come there and it could have been a totally different outcome. And so I wish he would take a different stance. I know I would specifically, because I don't think one has to do with the other in terms of how she has been shamed by the public. I still think that there needs to be some criminal reconciliation that goes with that. And it makes me sad that now people are kind of coming against Christians, speaking out against Christian or what have you, because I do understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, I think you have a responsibility to make sure that people understand that this is not appropriate, that this is not okay. We cannot continue to allow people to present a false narrative to police and put Black lives or any lives in jeopardy.
So my thoughts are, I agree with Rob's stance. Actually, I think, you know, like he said, if the DA wants to go and do what they want to do, and they want to go after her for this and make a point, I'm fine with it, because I still think, you know, she, you know, sometimes you have to pay for the things that you do. So, but with that being said, I agree with it. If he doesn't want to cooperate, you know, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, that's his choice. He's like, look, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. You know, yes, I put this video out here. Maybe he's even kind of taken aback by the celebrity and, or not the celebrity, but the negative. He's associated with something that's so negative. Maybe he's just like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I want out. And I'm fine with that, because if I were in his situation, I would feel very similarly. I would be like, there's enough has happened to her. I'm good. You know, but if you want to do what you want to do, fine. I'm just not going to be a part of it. Z?
Well, I'm going to say this. I kind of agree with everybody. I don't think that his testimony or his cooperation is needed. It's on film. The whole world saw
That's a
it.
good point.
What does he need to say? What more does he need to get involved?
That's true. That's a great point.
That said, I think it would be a very strong deterrent if Ms. Cooper is found guilty and held criminally responsible. Because as we can see, after Amy Cooper, we had those fools, who were talking about the guy painting his own sidewalk. You know, we had the people pointing their guns at peaceful protests. I mean, it doesn't stop. You know what I mean? The entitlement doesn't stop. The abuse of power doesn't stop. So I think it needs to happen. I just don't think that he needs to be involved at this point.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement. I mean, let me read some of these comments online. We've got Jeanette Brown saying, I'm all for her facing charges. She says, but I feel like putting pressure on Christian is victim blaming. He chooses whether he wants to make himself vulnerable to crazies. Roka says she needs to have a record that lives with her. All of the other punishments are temporary. Jeanette pointed out the fact that, like Z said, it's on video. Vaughn Perry said, no, he doesn't have responsibility. He said from the beginning he didn't want to press charges. So, so it's, I totally agree with all those comments. So, all right.
Keep your phones by your side, people. Videotape this stuff.
Yeah, keep your phones handy. All right, let's move on to Lizzie. Is this a truth, lie, or shenanigans, Lizzie?
This is all of the above, actually, but I think in the big scheme of things, it's shenanigans. So we are going to talk about the new vocabulary word for the week, entanglements. Into entanglements.
You ready for the video?
My hair.
Let me know when you're ready for the video.
So I'm just going to give a little preamble. This whole situation, this scandal started with a young man by the name of August Alsina. He went on Angela Yee's show a few weeks ago and said that 4 years ago he had an affair and a relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith. And the internet, social media went wild. At the time, Jada and Will didn't say anything. They didn't address it. And so when you don't say anything, the rumors continue to start. People start to, form opinions of their own. And then certain media outlets were reporting that they did say something, that they did say XYZ. And then August Alsina came back again and said, Will gave him permission to basically sleep with his wife, have an entanglement with his wife. So last week on Friday, Will and Jada decided to address this themselves on Jada's Facebook show, Red Table Talk. So they brought it to the red table. So we're going to take a look at a small portion from that video, and then we're going to talk about it.
I think you need to say clearly what happened. You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with
Entanglement.
August. That's what I said.
In the
An
sheet.
entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely. I was in a lot of pain, and I was very broken. Now, in the process of that relationship, I definitely realized that you can't find happiness outside of yourself.
Because for me, that was the thing when Og first came around, he was really sick.
He was really sick, yeah.
And the outpouring for him from our family was initially about his health.
Yeah. And from there, you and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah. We were over.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
Because I wasn't sure I was ever going to speak to you again.
I know.
Yeah, like the fact that I'm speaking to you again is a miracle.
I would agree.
I sure wish it could be all magic and miracles.
Yeah. You got to go through some to get the answers.
I don't want to go through this no more.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Yeah. I'm going to get you back first, and then...
You're going to get me back. I think you got me back. I think we're good on that, okay?
I want to say.
Okay, that's probably true.
And I don't think it's about getting anybody back.
No, for me it is.
Okay. I'll give you that credit. That's what you want.
I told you the first year we were married, I can love you through anything.
And I didn't believe you.
25 years and counting.
We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
So stupid.
Wow.
So I'm going to
That's
throw
funny.
this topic to the panel first, because I think amongst the three of you and with our other hosts for the show, I am the only single person, non-married person, never married person on this show. So I want to get some of your impressions about, one, the semantics, entanglement versus relationship versus affair. But also, too, like, what do you think about this whole scandal with Will and Jada that we now are privy to?
Why don't we start with Z?
Can
Go start with Rob. Rob raises his hand.
Will and Jada have had a famously open relationship. They've never shied away from it. So the fact that this is happening so this was something more emotional. And I think that might cross the boundaries, but whatever they have going on in their relationship is with them. And I can't imagine what it would be like to be a power couple, because it's being thrown at each of them day in, day out, multiple times a day. It's I can't imagine what 25 years of that life would be. And kudos on them for working it out together, finding something that works for them. And even through that conversation, you can see that there's some resentment and some anger, but there's a deep love also. So to me, this is just one of those things that it doesn't need to be out in the social media platform, doesn't need to be out there for the collective. It is between Jada and Will.
And let me just say, and it would not have been if Mr. August Alsina had not kissed and told. Like, nobody was talking about this young man and Jada. He went to, the media and the press and revealed this. So,
And there was one part of the clip that was missing. So I mean, they were talking about he was ill, but I think it had more. They mentioned something else in the full show where it was more along the lines of some type of mental illness. Or I got that impression it was some type of mental.
I think honestly, Neil, I think it was both.
Was it?
I think there was some type of medical, like physical illness in addition to whatever, because a lot of people online have alluded to his mental illness. But I think in that moment, there was also some physical, something physical going on with him as well.
So from their conversation, I had gotten the mental part, but I didn't get the other physical part. Z?
So is it sad that I don't know who this August person is?
Nobody did.
Is this a TikTok thing? Is it a
Nobody
Snapchat
knew who this
thing?
dude
I don't-
was.
Okay.
None.
So there's your answer. So there's your answer one as to why this even came out. He's obviously looking for his little 15 seconds of fame. That's number one. The other thing that kind of stood out to me immediately was the use of the word entanglement. It brought me back to a psychology class I took years ago where we discussed death and how people, especially in our society, can't just say, oh, such and such died. They have to say, oh, they passed away, or, they're sleeping forever, or they went home. Like, they died. That's what it is. You had an affair. That's what you did. Like, I think if you're going to come out and do a red table talk where you're going to put it all out there and lay it on the line.
Put it out there. That's right.
Put it out there. Stop. An entanglement in the sheets? Yeah. All right.
And so that's why Will said, so what happened, Jada? Like, he was trying to get her, and then when he was saying it, he said, you had a relationship. Like, he corrected her.
Like, stop. Exactly. Like, don't come with this, like, all right, I had to put myself at the red table and man, you entanglement.
There was a couple of things.
An affair. Like, stop it.
There was a couple things that stood out to me.
I just want to say real quick. And God bless them. They made it 25 years. It's sad that they even felt the need to respond to this and answer to it, because it's your marriage. It should be private. It's their business. I don't really care. I don't want to hear about this. Let's talk about masks and coronavirus some more, because we haven't talked about that in 5 minutes.
We will. But there was a couple of things that stood out to me, and it had more to do with Will and some of his comments, particularly like when he was saying, I'm going to get you back. I mean, I don't know. That hit me a little off. I didn't like that.
Did you respond?
Like a side shaking.
Yeah. Did you hear what she said?
That she got him back.
She said, I think you already got me back.
Right.
Which again,
and I think she said more than enough.
Yes, I think it speaks to whatever private stuff they have going on in their marriage that is nobody's business, really.
Right.
Well, but they're putting it out there to make it our business.
But I think they had to, because, Mr. August put it out there for them. Like, at the whole point, people were like, oh, I wouldn't have addressed it. I wouldn't have said anything. The last thing you want, especially if you're a public figure, is to have other people telling your story for you.
But do they really have to do it on Table Talk?
I mean,
where else were they going to?
And I mean, they put it all out there. I mean, there are ways to put your information out there.
They didn't put it all out there.
Right. But I'm saying.
But that's exactly right.
But what they did put out there, I have an
allegations?
opinion on.
Oh, of course you have an opinion on. But where else would they have put it out there? Like, if they go someplace that's not Table Talk, then they're not in control of the narrative.
So I have an opinion on him saying, that he's going to get him back, and I want to know more about what all that means. So
I think we know what it means. I think we know what it means.
Have they answered everything that's come up about their marriage in the past, though? They could have just ignored it the way they've ignored so many other.
No, but because I don't think anyone in the past specifically said, I slept with Will. I slept with Jada. There were all of these rumors and innuendos, but I don't think that there was anything that was as specific as this young man, especially when he came out and said, Will gave him permission.
And have they ever admitted? Have they ever admitted to an open relationship? They've actually said that they haven't. Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, They've never said those words. And, people have been talking about them having an
Yeah,
open
of
relationship
course.
for years.
The rumors, yeah.
Haven't said those words. And we're going to have to go past the go past Gingy, because I want to get this point in about Jada, because people have been coming down a lot on Jada and her actions here. Let me just get Gingy out the way.
All right, so we're gonna go over a little bit. We can go over a little bit. And there's a lot of comments online about this, of course. So let's get to those.
As it relates to Jada, I mean, and especially the men out here, in the public sphere who are observing this story, commenting on this story, all of them are really going in on Jada, which I think is highly hypocritical, given that how often do we hear about men cheating on their wives, about embarrassing their wives, their families in the public sphere? And very rarely do you have this much backlash for the men involved. And so I'm just saying, brothers, y'all need to take it down a couple of notches. I mean, you have people like 50 Cent, like Snoop Dogg,
that was ridiculous.
Who has a whole other child. His wife has been on Twitter alluding to all of the infidelity in their like, shut it up, shut it down, shut it down. I think we all know someone who's in a relationship where there's been some infidelity. I have friends who have cheated. I have friends who have been cheated on. I have family members who are going through this, other kids involved. This is not anything out of the ordinary, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so for us to give all this smoke to Jada is ridiculous. And one final point, please, I think I need to make this, in that Jada and Will both come from broken homes. And I think you heard Jada talk often in that segment, talk about how she hadn't yet fixed herself.
Yep.
Jada comes from a home environment where both of her parents were drug addicts. Her father used to beat the crap out of her mother. And this is stuff they discussed on Red Table Talk. Her father used to beat the crap out of her mother. She and her father were estranged for several years. And then she finds out that he had a kid with somebody else. So now she has a brother that she didn't know about. On top of that, she grew up, in a tough area in Baltimore. She was kind of like hood as a teen. Like she wasn't as refined as she is now. And then before Will, she dated Grant Hill. Okay, y'all know who Grant Hill is? Former NBA player Grant Hill. Grant Hill comes from a very prominent upper class Black family. His dad was an NFL player. His mom is an attorney. His mom is very strict. Why did they break up? Because his mom said to Grant, she's not good enough. She's not marrying my son. She's not coming into my family. And I'm sure that messed with Jada's confidence, because she talks about how she was always insecure. Like, a lot of stuff goes into this. And I'm not giving anybody an excuse for cheating. I have friends who have cheating spouses.
That was going to be my comment.
I have friends who have cheating spouses. I have, again, family members who have cheating spouses, and I'm always very hard on them. But that's because they haven't tried to fix themselves. They still cheating. They're still telling the lies, or they're still involved in entanglements. And I think the acknowledgement by Jada that she never fixed herself.
So if I could jump in.
Yeah.
I think all of us, everybody has issues, has something they're dealing with, some childhood issues, some problems that they dealt with. I don't think any of us can say that we all had perfect childhoods and we all have issues. So my comment was going to be about making excuses for their behavior, because we've all dealt with stuff, but we all don't go out and cheat on people and have extramarital affairs and things like that. So, I don't want her potential psychological or issues to be
and
like
that's not what I'm saying, but
a good reason.
I think we put out there that, at least more so than me and the people that I know who are cheating on their spouses, they had a different upbringing when it came to what the family structure is. And if you don't know what that structure is supposed to be like to work, it's going to take you some time to figure out. And I think she acknowledged, I never took the time to figure it out. I never took the time to work on.
And it's good that she's doing that. And it's good that she has Will to kind of help her along with that. And he didn't leave as he wanted to leave. He stuck it out. Let me get to some of these comments online. We got Karen Yvette Andrews, Jada, really? Entanglement? Question mark. Let's see. Ropka says,
I hate it because it's like when Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin were getting divorced and she kept saying unconscious uncoupling. No, you guys broke up. You're getting a divorce. Just call it for what it is. Let's just call it for what it is.
we have, let me see. We have Jeanette Brown. I must confess, I wanted to get somebody back and enjoying a Netflix series. I just stumbled on Resenting My Life Again, Dr. Foster. She's Jeanette Brown says mental illness is an illness. Yvette Karen says they've talked about their open relationship. I believe August publicly saying Will was okay with the affair with Jada.
I keep asking people to point to me where they specifically talked about their open relationship.
I haven't seen that. I looked for it at one time. I
I
actually
can't
looked.
find it.
I looked
Yeah.
for it a while ago. I mean, it wasn't related to this. Let's see. Vaughn Perry, the relationship also happened 4 years ago, and they both said they weren't in a good place. Kudos to them for working through whatever issues they have. I like that comment because, I mean, I personally have a, unbreakable, right? And one of them is cheating. I'm like, cheat, I'm out. That's just what it is. But, it is good that they were able to work it out. And every marriage, every relationship has issues that you have to kind of figure out. And I agree. I agree with Vaughn Perry. It's kudos to him and her for working through their issues because I'm sure she mentioned it. She's dealt with some crazy stuff. I'm sure. I'm positive this isn't like a first affair that they've had, even if they did or didn't have an open relationship. But any other last comments real quick?
Just, I hate that, we are in the era where people just kiss and tell just because they want likes. They want to get their 15 minutes of fame. Again, we all know people that are going through these things. And I just think that it should be something that is personal. Like if I am sleeping with you, even if it's, an affair or something, unless I give you permission to make it public, then you shouldn't be talking about it. I think, I'm allowed to have some privacy with what I do with my body. Period.
We need sex NDAs. We need sex NDAs. Be like, excuse me, will you sign this?
I like that.
That's not giving anybody permission to cheat. Like, I'm not a fan of cheaters at all. At all.
So let's move on. All right. So, Rob B., you got a truth, lie, or shenanigan?
It's a truth that's shrouded in lies and really some shenanigans at the whole heart of it.
Bring it to the table.
Yeah. So it's really just on Trump pushing to open schools fully in September. It's definitely steeped in his economic platform to get everything going as it should be, nice and normal. He has experts that are backing him. And I know in Canada we're seeing some similar stuff because of mental health issues that are arising in children. They do need that stability. They need to get back to some sense of normalcy, and just physicians are starting to see more and more of these cases. But if it's done improperly and you rush through it, the support infrastructure is run by adults. Children haven't been, they've been carriers, but they haven't really been that impacted as a demographic compared to older people. So now we're going to have these institutions being run by adults full of tiny little rugrats that are carriers. And a supporting article that I brought in was these Christian camps in Missouri that opened up. So this is what happens when you mix kids and adults together and you don't take the proper precautions. I know that people have railed against what they've seen in China with everyone wearing a face shield, everyone being just separated. With how rampant it's become in the States, how can they possibly hope to open in September?
Can you explain these Missouri summer camps? What is this about?
It's basically they're Christian summer camps, and what they've done is they've opted as a corporation to stay open. They've operated within the state guidelines, which have been some of the looser ones, and as a result, within a week, you've got all of these people that are getting sick together. So while the kids
Yeah.
might
Are
be
they sleepaway
asymptomatic,
camps?
This
Are they
particular
yes,
one
they
sleeping
was
are.
there?
that one was a sleepaway camp, and what people fail to recognize or acknowledge what the sleepaway camp is, you have all these kids together, they're sleeping in the same room. Even if you're social distancing, you don't wear a mask while you're sleeping.
You don't. Or even if you
So
do, it falls off.
yeah,
Right,
so
right.
I mean, that, I
I
think
didn't even
that's
think
where
of that.
you're more vulnerable at a sleepaway camp than you are as just a day camp.
Yeah. So, Rob, what's the question?
Well, I'm just curious how everyone is feeling about whether or not it's doable to open in September full bore. If there's any, in what world could that happen?
I want to start with Z. Let me. I see the face. Go ahead.
I mean, look, I just thank God that I don't have to think about this problem, but I do because my husband is a teacher, and if they say go back, he's going to be exposed to Lord knows what. But that said, there's no end in sight, and this is where I'm really torn, and this is where I consider myself a moderate because I get it. This is life and death. These are people. This is health at stake. I completely understand, but if you don't have a job and you can't afford food anymore and the pantries are empty and or you get to the line and there's no food left and you don't have a home and winter's coming because you can't pay your rent, like the economy has to, like,
There
we have
has
to
to be a
figure something
balance.
out.
There
There
has to
has
be
to
a
be,
balance.
because first of all, parents are not going to be able to go back to work without their kids going somewhere, whether that's daycare or school. Either way, they're exposed to something or someone, right? Number two, these kids, like you said, they're suffering. Look, can we honestly say that online learning, especially in this new phase where we don't know, we don't have secure plans in place, is effective? I mean, our kids are some of the dumbest in the world already. I mean, we really can't afford to have, but they are. They are. Come on. I love America. I love our kids, but, come on. I don't think we can afford to not bring them back at least part-time or something. I mean,
To figure
we
it
can't
out.
continue on like this. We have to figure something out. They can't just sit home. Parents can't sit home with them.
Lizzie?
So yeah.
As a professor, I disagree. I respectfully disagree. One, you brought up a good point about how the economy is suffering, we're suffering mentally or whatever. And I think it should be noted that it wasn't until this weekend, I believe yesterday, that the President of the United States wore a mask publicly.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is July. We first went on lockdown in March, mid-March. We were warned about this in February. As a government, our government failed us in preparing us for what was to come and what precautions that we need to take. And even still, I mean, look at Florida, my goodness. Look at Florida. Like
We have to.
initially, that particular governor, he was taking all of his cues from Trump. And he didn't want to lock down anything. And now, once again, they have the biggest numbers, single day numbers, every single day, going up every single day.
15,000 new cases yesterday, right?
And counting, and counting. As a professor, so
And I just want
Howard
to point out
University,
before you finish, those 15,000, those convert to deaths later. So in 2 weeks, we should see a huge number of deaths.
and even if they don't convert to deaths, I mean, look at Broadway right away. Look at Broadway actor Nick Cordero. He suffered
Yeah.
for 3 months. Like, even just because you
That's
don't
bad.
die doesn't mean this is not a horrible illness.
Yeah.
He suffered for 3 months. I had a young lady, she is on the editorial board with the New York Times. She spoke to my class, two of my classes, over the past month. She contracted COVID in April. She still has respiratory problems. And she's young 33-year-old runner, lives in Brooklyn, no pre-existing health conditions at all. And so it's not even just death. Like, you could still be living a horrible hell with this disease. For me personally, as a professor, they gave us 3 options. One, you could do the I think it's called high flex in the fall, where you have in-person instruction at least 1 day a week. The students come in. If you have no more than 10 students in a class, each student has to sit at an assigned desk. They have to wear masks. They have to wipe down their desks. They have to, when they sit down, when they come in, they have to wipe down their desk, and then when they leave. So my aversion to that was, okay, well, these are 17, 18-year-olds who already don't listen. What if someone comes into my class with no desk, with no mask? What if someone comes into my class and they don't want to sit in their assigned seat? What if they don't want to clean down? Like my little self, what am I supposed to do with these, big kids who don't want to adhere to the rules? And all it takes is one interaction. Just because we are only in class 1 day a week versus 3 days a week doesn't mean that there's no exposure there.
Yeah.
The other two options are online instruction. And so I opted for online instruction. And even though I hate Zoom with a passion, I will Zoom the hell out of everything, at least for the fall semester. I think, and I'm not saying that this should be the new norm, that all classes and all teaching should be online forever, but I just don't think as a country we are ready. I don't think we've taken the proper precautions at all.
Yeah, I think there are with some things. Obviously, you need to open up. You need to get to work. There are some things, and if you have adults, then they can wash their hands. If you have adults, they can wear a mask. You can make them wear a mask or tell them to get out. You can do all of those things, and there's a little more control of the environment when you're dealing with adults. When you're dealing with kids, you have a lot less control of the environment. My little niece was over here for, we had like a social distancing 4th of July, and it was a wonderful 4th of July celebration. But I swear to you, the kids could not keep their masks on. They were touching on stuff. I mean, we were always going behind them and making sure we were spraying and stuff like that. So we did a good job at the social distancing, but and we were all outdoors. But the point is, kids are kids, and it's much harder to control an environment with little children than it is with dealing with adults, like going back to work. If you go back to your office, you can probably control that environment. One last point I wanted to make was I was reading that the WHO recently changed their guidance, and they said that they believe that air conditioning is similar to Legionnaire's disease, is passing on. If you have, like, say you have air conditioning in one room and then you have another room and it's just passing it, because they're saying it's definitely, they believe it's airborne for sure now, and it's just passing it from one room to the next. So it's a challenging thing, and we really still don't know everything about COVID. So it's tough. And the death rate may be dropping in terms of the number, but it's not necessarily in terms of the number of people.
And this year can just...
Go ahead, Z.
Once Jen finished, can I just make one more point?
Go ahead.
That I think something people need to take about. I want him to dance first, though.
Okay. Well, let me let Z get in here real quick, and then I'll let you have the final thought. How about that? Okay.
No, I wasn't even going to say anything important. Just that 2020 can just pick rocks with open-toe shoes at this point. Like, now I can't even enjoy air conditioning. Like, is that what you're telling me? Now the air conditioning is off. Like, what the? No, just put me to sleep. I can't.
It's either the Rona that's going to kill us, or a heat stroke. One or the other. One or the other.
Something's going to kill you. We're all going to die at some point.
No, but just getting back to the whole, and I'm speaking from a university perspective. One thing that also people aren't taking into consideration is, okay, you're trying to control the classroom environment. How are you going to control the dorms? You really think these kids are going to be social when they're drinking, when they're having sex, when they're just hanging out? That is not going to happen. These are 17, 18, 19-year-olds who are away from home for the first time. They are going to want to interact, touch each other, party, and then they're going to want to come to my class. Yep. So that's something people need to think about as well.
All right, let's move on to the next one. So I've got one for you. Let me pull it up while I'm here. It's our friend, the CEO of Goya Foods, Robert. Let me see if I can say his name. I think it's Unan.
Don't ask me.
Okay, I won't.
He must be from Spain. He must be Spanish. Don't ask me. I want to be one of the ones he considers one of him, so I don't know nothing about that.
All right, this past week he gave great praises to I'm not even going to call his name, the clown. Goya Foods is a very popular brand in the Latino community and globally. And he was immediately attacked with a backlash from Twitter and Instagram, social media, given Trump's very much anti-Latino, anti-immigrant rhetoric that he's had throughout, not just recently, but he started his campaign on it. But let me show this video real quick.
We're all truly blessed.
Whoops. All right, let me do that again.
We're all truly blessed at the same time to have a leader like President Trump, who is a builder. And that's what my grandfather did. He came to this country to build, to grow, to prosper. And so we have an incredible builder, and we pray. We pray for our leadership, our president, and we pray for our country, that we will continue to prosper and to grow.
They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
When the vast majority of your consumers are Latinos, and you're serving as a prop for a man who puts brown children in cages, who calls places like El Salvador holes, who throws paper towels at Puerto Ricans after Maria and denies their deaths, who calls Mexicans criminals and rapists, you might expect a backlash.
You getting a boycott, that's what I've heard, because you had the audacity to show up at the president's invitation and say some positive things about him?
You know, Brian, yes, and you know, it's suppression of speech. I'm not apologizing for saying, and especially if you're called by the President of the United States, you're going to say, no, I'm sorry, I'm busy, no thank you. I didn't say that to the Obamas, and I didn't say that to President Trump.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so now as recent as yesterday, he refused to apologize, and he even doubled down on his praise for Trump. So I have a simple question for you. Goya boycott, yes or no? I'll start with Z because she's passionate.
My blood pressure went up, and I'm trying to woo-saw in honor of Will.
And just to let you know, Z is our resident Latina.
That's right. So I got 2 words.
Why?
Not the resident Latina.
What is I see you, girl. I see you. No, I have 2 words. I have 2 words for the clown, and that's white passing. Okay? He is white passing. I guarantee his grandpappy who came here and built his life here was passing for white when he came over from wherever he came over, all right? And I bet you anything that they hid their last name. And they said, oh, it's from Europe. It's from someplace else to build whatever they built here in this country. So, of course, they're going to step on the brown and black Latinos that they should be representing, who have been supporting the brand since I was born with damn Goya in my mouth, okay? So that's him, okay? And you know what? And let me just say this. It is not suppression of speech because nobody put a hand over his mouth when he was speaking. He was allowed to say the foolishness he said. This is called consequences, baby, all right? And guess what? There's that other brand that makes adobo. I got all these recipes to make my own. My man's a chef, okay? So I'm done with Goya, and I don't care. He can have his opinion. This is still America, and I can take my capitalist dollars and choose to spend them elsewhere.
Absolutely.
Dropping my mic.
Well done.
I'm mad. I'm mad.
I love when CEOs do this. You're entitled to your personal opinion. When you are the representative of a large organization, you don't go out and make public statements like this. He might be fine with what he said. The board of directors and the shareholders are definitely not good with what he said. It's ridiculous. And we've seen this time and time again from heads of industry. And I would encourage everyone to listen to Z and walk with your money. I can't say that I really know the brand up here, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye out for it because I would purposefully avoid it.
It's very salty. It's very
very salty. Actually,
you'll get high blood pressure.
Goya is very salty.
Then I can't do that. I'm too old for that.
You can't do that. No, that's right. No, don't. I'm saving lives.
Lizzie?
One, I was just gonna say that literally half of my pantry is full of Goya products. Literally half of my pantry. And so someone asked me if I was going to throw my stuff out. I'm like, no, that's not what a boycott is. Like, that's me wasting money. I'm not going to throw it out.
That's a
but
very good point, too.
will they get another dollar from me? Absolutely not. Z alluded to this a little bit when she talked about white passing and where he came from. So he is speaking on the prejudice that people from Spain have versus brown Latinos in this country, in the Caribbean, in Latin America. There is this back and forth. There's this pushback. The Goya family are white Spaniards. And more often than not, that group of people, especially if they are affluent, they look down on brown Spaniards. They certainly look down on the Latino community or the Spanish-speaking community that comes from Latin America, that comes from the Caribbean. So that's why he is able to say, oh, I can praise him because he's done so much good. Well, President Trump isn't trying to keep people from Spain out. He's not putting people from Spain in cages. He's not calling them rapists and criminals and drug dealers or whatever.
That's not who he's referring to.
This is why you can't relate to this. And you are showing your prejudice with this. Especially like Z said, the majority of Latinos in this country have a Goya product in their house right now. Right now. Yep. And for you not to acknowledge that, for you to be so tone deaf, is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I think every CEO needs to look at their market, and if your market is being attacked by an individual, such as the clown, then then you're not going to go out, or you should not go out praising that particular individual when they're. I mean, otherwise, and I agree with Z because. When we call it, you said white passing, but for me, it's more along the lines of, if his father came here or his grandfather came here and built the brand towards, the Latino community, obviously, that's great. But obviously, the grandchild grew up with privilege, which, he got through because he looks white. Whether he isn't, I don't even know. I don't know what his nationality or his background or ancestry is. Right. So, okay. So with that being said, well, technically he is white then. So,
yeah.
Well, see, the thing is, we've had a lot of discussions about.
But the question is, does Trump consider him white?
Well, we've had a lot of discussion about what is white, what is black, what is all that, I'm still not 100% in agreement with everybody's points on that. But with that being said, he is he pretty much just doesn't care about the community that he's dealing with, and we have he doesn't have to apologize. I'm okay if he doesn't apologize. That's his choice. It's a choice as a human being. He can say whatever he wants, do whatever he wants. Nobody suppressed him, but the thing is, we don't have to apologize for not buying the stuff that he makes.
Exactly.
We don't have to have any I won't apologize. I'll just stop buying it. So, Any other comments? Any last comments before we close it out?
No more money from me. No mas. No mas.
All right.
That's right.
All right. I want to try to get at least two more. I know we're over time, but let's try to get at least two more. Let's go to Z for your second topic.
Oh gosh, I love this topic because I get to dust off some of my trademark knowledge. Okay.
Oh yeah, tell them what you do. Tell them what you do. So where do you get that knowledge from?
So I'm a paralegal. I'm an officer for a real estate development company. I work in the legal department, and one of the things I'm responsible for is just kind of keeping an eye on our trademarks, our trademark applications, working with outside counsel to get our trademarks approved. That's just a small snippet. But when I first started, I had to learn a lot.
Is this a truth, lie, or shenanigan?
It's truth mixed with lies and shenanigans. It's all of the above. All right. So y'all know Lady Antebellum, right? A country trio. The only song I know is Need You Now, which is actually quite good. I do like that song. So I guess they got woke in the last month or so and decided that, they want to change their band name to Lady A due to the racist connotations tied to antebellum, right? However, that name, Lady A, has been used by a blues singer since 1987 um, publicly, in a public sphere. So they came together, and I guess the band proposed that they share the name, right? But in essence, if they share the name because they have more followers, more fans, more PR support, that would essentially erase Lady A from musical history. It would, when you search Lady A now, she's not going to come up. It's going to be them. That's on Spotify and everything. So she countered with, "How about you guys pay me $10 million so that I could take $5 million to rebrand as a new artist, under a new name, and the other $5 million I'm going to donate to charities of my choice, including BLM." So in response to this, Lady Antebellum decided to sue Lady A. Now, they're not suing for monetary, damages. They're only suing for $1, but they want to sue for the right to use the name. They're claiming that they did register the name. They did trademark the name Lady A back in 2010, which they did. However, and this is where my knowledge comes in.
Mm-hmm. I know about this too.
The registration doesn't. Exactly. I talked to your wife about this.
Mm-hmm.
The registration doesn't matter. The registration is just the date that the government, the USPTO, the United States Patent and Trademark Office, deems it okay, it's yours, you used it in business, we're approving it, no one's contesting it, go on, enjoy. However, should someone come up and be able to prove use in public of that name for the same purposes, so it can't be Lady A Donuts, no, it has to be Lady A Entertainment, singer, whatever, and in the same geography, which for music now, with the internet, that's global. So there is no more, hey, they don't know about Lady A in Kentucky, they only know about her in New York. No, this is global. So all she has to do, Lady A, is prove, hey, I've been out here performing since 1987 under this moniker. So my question to you is, do you think that Lady Antebellum is being hypocritical in their quest to be non-racist by suing a Black lady for her name?
Lizzie?
Even before we get to that, when did Lady Antebellum start as a group?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll look it up.
I'm not sure, but I know that they trademarked Lady A in 2010, but they used it very sparingly. They are known as Lady Antebellum.
And so when did people become aware of the racist connotations with the name Antebellum?
This is the first time I'd even known what it meant.
Well, I always knew that it meant the good times of the South before the slaves were free.
2006, by the way.
Mm-hmm. I guarantee you, even in 2006, I guarantee you between 2006 and the time that they became woke a month ago, I guarantee you they have heard about the racist connotations with the name Antebellum.
Yeah, if you're from the South, you probably had.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And they gave themselves that name because they wanted to cater to a certain audience in the South, first and foremost. Right. But the fact that they can't see the irony and the hypocrisy in now coming, you're saying, first of all, okay, well, we have done some self-reflecting, and now, we want to be woke, we want to be PC, whatever, we want to be more socially aware and socially conscious about BLM and about social issues. So we're going to change our name. But you don't see the irony and the hypocrisy in then coming down using your white privilege against this Black female blues singer who's been around for, what did you say, 27 years? 23, 27 years?
Since 1987. I mean,
come on.
Over
Why couldn't you just call yourself the A? Why couldn't you just, reinvent it to something else that isn't attached to an artist that is already out there? So to me, I think it's a form of bullying at this point. It's a form of bullying.
And can I just add something? All they're doing is taking away the rest of the word. It's still A. What do they think people are gonna tie that to? Lady
Or
Anne,
also,
like we know what it is. The A still
even
stands
if
for
they
antebellum.
Yeah, that's the same
Exactly.
thing that Von Perry just said online. He said the exact
Thank
same
you,
thing.
even if
Vaughn.
they change
Yes.
their name to even if they change their name to Lady A, people are going to associate them as Lady Antebellum. Like that's not going anywhere. They've been around since 2006. That's not going anywhere. Not at all.
Robbie?
But I think it's a form of bullying, 100%.
It definitely speaks to me as
This is
a
a musician
musician.
speaking, by the way.
Yeah, definitely speaks to me as a
Hey.
musician, because when it came time to bear down on a band name, you would not believe how excruciating that is, to try to come up with something creative, original, that's going to pop with people, that's going to resonate, that isn't taken, because everything is trademarked out there. So it is a journey. The fact that they branded themselves Lady Antebellum, and as I'm looking up the word, I mean, it refers back to a time before a particular war, in this instance, before the Civil War. So it absolutely has strong racist connotations. They branded themselves like that in Tennessee, where, hey, all right, it's going to definitely have some uptake. And now, yes, they're woke and they want to rebrand. Well, if you want to rebrand, get away from the entire antebellum thing, Lady A. Someone has already branded this. There's already an artist. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but in this case, this is shenanigans. This is Babytown frolics.
Yeah.
This is fact.
I had a slightly different take, and I mentioned it on your page, Z, when you posted this. Is, it's definitely ironic that there is a black lady who has the name, but I don't think their intentions were to, take a name from a black lady. They just liked the name, Lady A, and they want to change it. I personally think they should just go ahead and pay her the money she wants. If she's willing to, say, hey, I'll take $10 million. You give me, I'll give you the name. I'll stop. Give me $10 million, and I'm good. Give her the money. I mean, if that's what she wants and that's what she's willing, give her the money, and then stop fighting all these trademarks. I think, and part of the problem is, when you fight these trademark wars, they're costly. And Lady Antebellum can probably afford to go through litigation, but I'm sure Lady A may not be able to. And so I think they're just trying to, steal the name in essence.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the next one. There are some comments online, though. I just want to get some comments. Jeanette Brown says shenanigans. Of course, I already mentioned Von Perry. I want to go back. There were a couple of comments from the previous. Oh, Monica Alicia said, I need to familiarize myself with Badia. Say it? Badia?
Oh, Badia.
Badia.
Badia?
Yep. Jeanette Brown
Yeah,
agreed.
they have adobo. They have adobo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jeanette Brown agreed that it's salty. Oh, and Von Perry was saying, preach, Z, preach. So.
Thank you, Vaughn. Thanks for the love, Vaughn.
All right, let's do a quick one. Let's see if we can get through this. Rob, you think we can make this one pretty quick?
We can try to make it quick, for sure.
Let's do it.
For sure.
Let's do it.
I stumbled across something wonderful this week, thanks to my wife. It was a global performance of In the End by Linkin Park. It's done by a group called Rockin' Mob out of Russia. And these guys have been touring and organizing mob performances since 2016, and they've been done locally. They started traveling from Moscow, and they were just traveling from city to city and performing these great rock pieces, putting the invitations out. You get 100, 150 musicians playing on a pier. That's impressive. So in May, they put the shout out to the world saying, we can't go out and do this anymore, so come play with us. So this group of Russian people sought international collaboration, and it's a really neat performance in the end, and just the power that music has to unite us, no matter who we are, no matter where we are. If it's music that speaks to you, it can pull us all together. I've got a couple of clips, Neo, if you can run. There's one of a performance. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I wanted so much to be a part of this. You can't even imagine my dream to be part of this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That was awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I've watched the whole thing. It's pretty good.
So I have sent them an email, and I'm
teary.
waiting for a response to find out when it's what their next song selection is going to be, if they're going international. And I would love to submit. I noticed that in this one there was one Canadian. So if you take a look at it, it is mostly Russian performers, but the rest of the world took note, and the rest of the world submitted stuff. So it's just to me, this is a feel-good thing, and it just speaks to the power of music. I love it.
Yeah.
I would love if they did "We Are the Champions." Oh my God!
They have arranged a couple of Queen songs, just performing locally. They've done Kiss, they've done Muse, John Bon Jovi. So they've done a variety of stuff. And just to see like these crazy big Russian stringed instruments, the original artists would have never conceived of these instruments being used. And it's just wonderful creativity all the way around.
All right.
I wonder if the remaining members of Linkin Park has seen this. For those who don't know, their lead singer, Chester Bennington, committed suicide several years ago. But the other members are still with us. And so I'm sure that, this would warm their heart if they saw something like this and the emotion behind it.
Yeah.
They had to have seen this. Yeah.
I'm sure Mike Shinoda has seen this and taken note, and it's just an incredible band. And if you really go back to their catalog and listen to it, because it's all in the lyrics, you can hear the pain, the mental anguish, and it's cathartic and it's liberating.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Lizzie, you want to just tell people about your last one, or we want to move on?
Let's just move on, because I think I was going to get into a lot of things. So let's just move on.
All right. Well, before we close out, we have to talk about really briefly. Let's try to get this quickly as we can. We got some shenanigans going on, and that's because this just happened. I think it happened yesterday. Roger Stone. For those that don't know, Roger Stone is Trump's right-hand man. Helped him, through all of the Russia probes and everything, and then lied to Congress about it. So he was a confidant and friend, and just this week he was supposed to be going to jail for lying to Congress. He was convicted, and he was supposed to go into jail, and the clown decided that he would commute his sentence. So I just really want to get your opinions. Any opinions you have on this comment? Let's just go around really, really quick, guys. What do you think, Lizzie?
I think moving forward, did you say Liz E or Z?
Lizzie. Yeah, Liz.
I think moving forward, we need to do something about the Constitution and the government that allows presidential pardons, because it's getting out of hand.
It is out of hand.
So I think that's my response to this. Okay, now you've ruined this as well as so many other things, portions of government that you've ruined in this country. So now we need to figure out how we can make it so that one president, one man, can pardon someone, from their sentence, that can commute their sentence,
and it's
unlimited.
Make it so they could commute
anything. And he has said every time one of his friends gets convicted of something or goes down,
he would let them
go. Comes out on Twitter and he's like, "Well, I got you. I'm gonna take care of this." So this is something we need to get rid of in this country for sure.
Robbie?
I would have to agree with you. If he has the power to pardon a turkey, and as well as a human being, kind of puts it into perspective for me.
All right, Z.
No, I agree with both Rob and Lizzie. I think that we're going to see a couple of more pardons or whatever before he gets kicked out of office in November. So get ready for a few more.
Yeah, this is he's literally the most corrupt. It's got to be the most corrupt president in history. I mean, we thought Nixon was bad, but I don't know. I think he's giving Nixon a huge run for his money. I mean, at least Nixon had the gall to step out of office when he was doing something wrong. So anyway, All right, that's it for our hot topics. So great job, guys. Now don't run off. We always end our show with a nice, fun game. Today's show is going to be Name That Movie.
We did this once before.
Yeah, it's a little different, but it's the same thing but different. So
Okay.
this one, this is an obvious one. So just so you can get an idea of how it works, basically we'll just show an image, display several images depicting scenes of various movies. First one to yell out the correct answer gets a point. Highest score at the end of the game gets today's final thought. All right. So, are you guys ready? Anybody can name this movie real quick?
Matrix.
All right. So, for example, Rob would have gotten this point, but we're not using this one. Are you ready? Let's go. All right.
Notting Hill.
Yes, Z got it. All right. Right on. By the way, I'm hosting, so I'm not playing this game, but let me get your point right there. All right. So I'm going to give you the next one. Go ahead.
Aladdin.
All right. So Z. I'm not sure who said that first, Z or Rob. I'm going to just give you both points.
I think it's a Rob. There's a delay, so I think Rob got it first.
Okay, we'll go with that. We'll give him the point then. All right. All right, so we'll do the next one. You ready?
Gypsy.
Nope.
Chicago.
Nope. This is a tough one. I'll give you one more guess. Go ahead.
Ooh.
Anybody?
Are they cartoon characters?
All right. This is Amelie.
Oh, and I've seen Amelie.
Amelie, yes.
All right. So I'm gonna go fast. So get ready. This one of you guys got to get this one. I have a feeling I know who's gonna get it. Let's go.
Oh, The Shining.
Okay, so I want to say that
That was me.
I think it was a tie between Z and Lizzie, because I'm pretty sure Z said first.
On Jeopardy, that would
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you gotta fix that Wi-Fi. Fix that Wi-Fi. I'm gonna give you both a point though. I think it was pretty close. Are you ready? Next one. Come on.
Baywatch.
All right. Yeah, Rob got you. Rob got that one. All right. Ready? He said it faster. I heard it.
Lizzie, he's a gas. He is a gas.
You ready? You ready? All right, next one. Got to get this one.
Avatar.
All right.
Avatar.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely Rob B got that one.
Blue people.
All right,
Big
Rob B's in
Smurfs.
the lead. All right, let's go. Ready? Go.
Pulp Fiction?
Scorpion.
Oh, that's close. Getting there.
Serpent.
Who said?
I said Pulp Fiction. But
No, not
is it Pulp
Fiction.
Fiction?
All right. No other
It
guesses?
looks like Marcellus' soul.
Desperado.
I almost said Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Oh, see? Actually, I would have taken that too. All right. Ready for the next one? Let's go. Come on, you got to get
Blues
this.
Blues Brothers.
Dang, that was pretty close. I'm gonna give you both a point. That was a close one. All right. Rob B and Z get a point. All right. Oh, Rob B, almost there. First one to 5 wins.
Ooh.
All right, come on, Lizzie. You got to get up in here. You ready?
Well, you cheated out of 2 points, so. But yeah, let's go.
You ready?
Yes.
Kill Bill.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, dang. I just saw that.
He got it.
Okay.
You can tell because it's a Hanzo Hattori sword.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I don't think any of us know that, but. All right, good job. Good job. So now we know who gets the last word. So start thinking of what your final thought is for the game, for the day. Let's get some shout outs in there. We had a lot of people online today.
Good.
This was a really busy day. Of course, Jeanette, Kevin was on, Rupka, we had Karen was on. Who else?
Vaughn Perry.
Oh yeah, Vaughn.
Vaughn Perry. Mel.
My friend Aday. Hey, what's up? I miss you. My sister Dee. Thanks for watching.
We got Pat Ducion. I don't want to say the name wrong. Pat
Ducion.
Ducion.
Yes,
okay, good.
Yeah.
He got Desperado right, by the way. Kevin Thaxton and then got Desperado right. Jeanette Brown got Amelie, by the way.
Definitely a shout out to my Canadian friends and family that are tuning in and checking this out.
Awesome.
Shout out
We
to
love
Degrassi
Canada.
Junior High. Degrassi,
Degrassi.
Jimmy.
Wheels for president. Wheels for president.
Yes.
Shoot, if November doesn't go right, I might find a place up near you, Rob. So.
Sweet.
Might have to talk the wife into going up that way. So, some way, somehow. All right. Well, we thank you guys for joining us. It was a really good show. I hope you maybe gained a new perspective, learned something new. Don't forget, we need you to like, follow, and subscribe to @TLS Live Show. Go to tlslive.show. We love seeing all the great discussions going on the Facebook page. Lizzie, just to let you know, on our Facebook page, Lizzie is our amazing page moderator, and she does all of our social media. So, great job, Lizzie. We appreciate all that work that you do. Remember, next show is Wednesday, so make sure you tune in Wednesday, 8 p.m. Should have a really fun show again. So we really thank you guys for joining us. So we're going to give the final thought to Rob B. in Canada.
The final thought to Rob B. in Canada. Well, I'm really looking forward to my brothers and sisters south of the border to just buying in and doing the right thing so that we can open up that border and start visiting once again.
Yes, we got it. November, we're going to try to fix that. November, we're trying to fix that. Get that border open. We'll figure that out. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Rob, Z, Lizzie. Great show. See you guys later. All right.